Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pastor Eric. I serve at a church in Miami, Florida called Haitian Emmanuel Baptist Church. It is my home church. It's the church where I was born and raised in, and so I have the privilege to continue to serve as a pastor in that area. Now, I've chosen that church as a revitalization project because we are experiencing a plateau and somewhat of a decline as well. Our numbers are slowly dwindling from 1974 when the church was established to now. We've seen the peak of 1,000 members and considered to be a mega church, and still is. But now, because of COVID and some other things, we've seen our numbers dwindle down to about 600, 650. So as far as demographically, majority of our members are 65 and older. And fortunately and unfortunately, many of them are transitioning to glory to be with the Lord. And so we're seeing this shift in our church where uh, a lot of our elders, the people that ministered to me, that discipled me, that watched me as a child, have now gone away. And there's a reluctancy or a failure, if I may say, to adapt to the changes now and to focus on the and all this stuff of how you feel. What is the strategy? What are we going to do to make changes? What are you proposing? Here's the strategy that I've documented. Number one, we need to identify, step one, we need to identify and build a revitalization committee. This takes a group of people who understand the need for revitalization. Listen, we don't want anybody a part of this committee that does not understand or is not willing to go down the process of understanding why we need a revitalization. So we need to understand, we need to highlight and identify key individuals that would understand the need for revitalization. And we need to communicate to them very clearly, very concisely, very completely the reasons why we need revitalization. Step number two is a period of prayer. For 7 days, I would suggest that the individuals that we've selected, pray. We pray, no meetings, no talking, but prayer, seeking God's guidance for our church, seeking God's guidance for our community, for the future of our church, asking the Lord, what does He want to do? We know what we want to do, but what do you want to do? Step three for me is what I call the discovery phase, or what we learned in class as well, discovery phase. And this is where we begin to uncover some things. We begin to suggest how things can change. And specifically, I would create three groups. Group number one would be responsible for the ministerial aspect of revitalization. Group number two will be responsible for the financial aspect of revitalization. And group number three would be required for the facilities, and how the building is operated, that portion of revitalization. So it would require that we have a variety of individuals that can provide good feedback, provide good work in all three of these areas, but with one goal in mind. How can we revitalize the church so that we can go another 50 years and giving God glory and making disciples? Step number four is the implementation. Well, let me quickly backtrack. This will be a 6-month process. So step 3, starting with the discovery, will take 2 months to discover, meaning write down detailed notes of what you see, what can be changed, different areas. So each group will be responsible to meet individually throughout that time, so that they can take notes and create suggestions for the changes that they are promoting. Okay, so let's go to step 4 now. Step 4 is the implementation phase. And once again, that's another 2 months in the implementation phase. Now, at this point, we've gone through discovery. We've seen what needs to be changed. We wrote down, we met with our teams as a group. We wrote down on big boards, whiteboards, whatever you want to do. We wrote down possible suggestions. And so now we voted on those suggestions. So now this is step 4 in the implementation stage, where we're putting those suggestions to work. Okay, we're implementing them. We're meeting with the key parties and speaking how we're going to change certain things. We're adding some things, taking away some things in order to revitalize. So, for example, the team that is required for the ministerial aspect of the revitalization, the example that I used in our church is the implementation of something as simple as planning center. Our church services are usually 3 hours long. That's too long. Okay. And so now one of the suggestions is, how about we cut it down to 2 hours long? How about we, through planning center, we map out our services. We have a pre-service sheet. We meet the senior pastor will meet with the worship service coordinator, and they can allocate time and coordinate the service so that they can cut the service from 3 hours to 2 hours, and along with installing a TV where there's a countdown so that everybody who's a part of the service now can see how much time is allotted to them, and Deacon so-and-so won't sit there praying for 25 minutes. Okay, I don't know if they do it at your church like that, but at my church, sometimes they do. And so little things like that is what we, in this implementation stage, that we will implement so that we can now cut down a 3-hour service to a 2-hour service. In my paper, I have a little bit more examples, but for the sake of time, I will continue. Now, evaluation phase, which is step number 5. With all these changes, just because we made changes, it doesn't mean that every change is going to work. Every change is going to be an A+. Some changes may be a fail. Some changes will be some changes may be F+. Okay, and so it's important that we evaluate. It's important that we see what's working and what's not working. Okay, and so for me, the individuals that are part of the committee has a responsibility to continue taking notes throughout this 6-month process. Hey, what's working? What's not working? For example, let's use Planning Center again. We've installed Planning Center. However, we don't have somebody to consistently make sure the TV is on and knows how to consistently work Planning Center, because it's a new software, it's a new thing. And so they also don't understand, they didn't understand how much work it takes in the beginning to input who's the director of service, who's the speaker, who's the praise team, the this, the that, all the details that have to happen pre-service in order for the service to be successful. So we seen that was a change that we had to implement. What was the change? We had to make sure there is not only one service coordinator, but 2 or 3 service coordinators that understand how to use Planning Center, so that there won't be any gaps if somebody was off a day, was sick a day, et cetera, that they're continuing to learn the system so that it could be a seamless process. Okay. Again, this is just an example of something that we had internally. And so we've learned that through the evaluation stage. And one thing that I deem very important is that as leaders or those who are calling the shots, so to say, it's important for us to listen to the people who are actually doing the work. And so it's important to sit down during the evaluation stage and ask those who are boots on the ground, hey, what do you think? What's going well? What's not going so well, so that we can adjust. Well, class, thank you for taking the time to listen to my church strategy. I want you guys to be encouraged. Thank you for such an amazing class. Although I'm a flex student, the conversation that I listened to has blessed me tremendously. And I thank you for just your impartation. And I thank you for listening to what I had to say. God bless you.